Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I should have set up my camera a little bit better before starting, but okay. It's so great to be back. If you guys aren't like normal watchers, you might not know that I had to cancel both of my streams last week due to various issues. So, yay, I'm back. Hello, Coco. So thank you for being very patient with me. Coco wants attention, maybe a spring. This spring has hair in it. And if you are new, by the way, while I'm giving Coco attention, my name is Tef. I'm a planner addict, sticker designer, and cat mama to Coco and her sister Opal, who is running around here somewhere. She's right over there. She's off frame as well. And Opal went and ran for the spring and I didn't. But anyway, if any of that sounds fun and good to you, feel free to give this stream a thumbs up and subscribe for more chatting about all of the things, because that's what we do here. We embrace the tangent. We talk about planners and organization and planning, more like the time organization types of things, like the planning side versus like the home organization. Though I am personally working on that, and I can actually tell you guys some of the stuff that I've found lately has worked for me, if that's something you're interested in, even though it's a slightly different topic. But anyway, I've rambled in my spiel, my intro spiel, longer than I should have. As always, if you are here live and you have not already, please sound off in the chat so I can give you a hello. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments, and I'll say hi to you there too. So it looks like I'm seeing Sharon. Hello. Hi, Shakira. Hi, Sarah. Hello, Leah. And hello, Hannah. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, fantastic Monday. So, yeah. Don't you love it when, or maybe this is just a me thing. Sorry, my hair. I was like so rushing to get to the stream today. If you're here live, you might know that it started a couple minutes late. I decided to try to run to the post office before my stream as opposed to after, because if I do it after, I have a hard cutoff to make sure I get there by the end, by the last pickup of the day. For anybody who doesn't know, I have a planner sticker shop on Etsy. There is a link and a coupon code down below if you'd like to check it out and support me. No pressure, but I love it if you would. Never mind. I was going to say, like, I think I'm running a Labor Day sale, but I think the discount I have down there is the same thing as Labor Day. You guys just get it all the time. But, so since I was gone last week, we missed a lot. A lot of what we talk about, as you guys know, is specifically Erin Condren related, because that is one of my favorite brands. Planner brands. I will not say the only one, but I like them a lot. I use a lot of their stuff. I would like to try more, but this last week was a big one. So we have a couple of things that we can talk about regarding that. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about, this is going to be another one of those like flowy, not that any of my lives are like super structured, but you know, it's going to be kind of a go with the flow. We have a few different things that we want to talk about. So there's a couple things for the fall seasonal surprise box that I'm allowed to show you now that the box is on sale. I should probably also check to see if it's still available, because sometimes they sell out very fast. But I was lucky enough to get a preview copy. And so there are some things, it's like a tiered thing. I'm like allowed to show you some stuff on some days and some stuff on other days. And so Thursday last week was the day I was allowed to show you another couple of things, but I wasn't feeling well, so it didn't happen. Yay. I also want to check out the collection for Hispanic and Latinx Heritage Month, which I believe just came out last week. And so there's some really gorgeous designs there. And then of course we can just talk about anything else planner related that comes up. So, I don't know. Let me know in the chat, I guess, which one of those you'd like to do first. Sarah, it looks like it's your first seasonal surprise box since summer 2019. That is so exciting. I really love this box. And so yeah, I think it's a good one to start on, especially because they are introducing some choices. And Shakira saying, yeah, it did, but it was totally eclipsed by the fall seasonal surprise box. Yeah, you're talking about the Hispanic and Latinx Heritage Month. Yeah, I have to say, that is a little bit of a bummer that I'm pretty sure that launched on the same day that this, like, last part, I guess, last tier, not tier, but, like, the most recent part of the embargo lifted for the seasonal surprise box. Ooh, I know. Let's do a poll. Let's just do that. I'm just going to call it the Latinx collection. I wasn't exactly, I just wanted to make it concise. Yeah, so there should be a poll going on now. Go ahead and vote. I know there are only like a couple of us here, but that's okay. Shakira, you're saying another content creator that you follow who is Latina showed the gorgeous covers and you literally saw it nowhere else. Sad. Oh my goodness. Yes. Sarah, you're having surgery on Wednesday, so the seasonal surprise box was retail therapy. I hope your surgery goes well. Surgery sucks. Yeah, and I mean, as I've said, like, generally I like the seasonal surprise boxes, but like, I think this is a pretty good one. I just realized I was not smart enough to set up an overhead cam prior to this. So it doesn't take me very long to set up, maybe like 3 minutes. So I can either do that or I can just hold stuff up, whichever you think. If you guys don't mind waiting, we can do that. As I said, I would have to like get out the tripod and set it up, but it wouldn't take super long to do. Let's see. So far, the seasonal surprise, so far it's 50-50. Whoa! This is Opie, by the way. Let's see how long she will put up with it. I'll give it like another minute or two for the poll. Sorry if I'm not being very enthusiastic today as normal. Like, I'm definitely glad to be back streaming, but like, it's honestly been like a very tough little bit from like an emotional / ADHD perspective, and just a lot to be mulling over. And then on top of that, because I do have my own business, I've been like second guessing myself on everything, and it's just been a lot going on in my head, really. So I'm definitely doing better than I was last week, but I definitely like am still working through some stuff. And I guess I'll say, since I am giving it like another minute for the votes for anybody who hasn't already voted, I'm thinking about, I have not made a decision yet, but I am thinking about temporarily going down to 1 stream a week while I kind of sort stuff out. Sorry, hair in my mouth. I have 1 cat here and 1 cat here, by the way, in case anybody's curious. So I'm not sure how to exactly talk about this without like going into like the whole like circular thoughts, woe is me, like, because that's not what this is about, and I'm not like that isn't why I'm explaining this to you guys. So Opie needs another spring. Do you guys like when I show you the color springs before I throw them? I just realized that's probably very weird. This one's a yellow one. And Opie literally did not run after it, but Coco did. So yeah, basically I think I kind of have to go back to basics with my business, which primarily is Etsy. I also have a sticker subscription box, and just kind of rethink everything from the ground up, if for no other reason, just for me to like make sure I have a framework into place. Because a lot of what I do is just kind of by the seat of my pants, which is what people with ADHD tend to do. But, and so I know I won't be able to get away from that entirely. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot jumbling around in my brain. And I mean, that's part of the reason why we probably all like planners, to like keep track of things and keep things organized. And I feel like I need to do some organizing beyond just using my weekly planner or a daily planner or a monthly planner and just kind of like strip everything down. But it's also like a very, it's intimidating, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Also, speaking of ADHD, I just realized I did not take my last dose of meds for the day. So I'm going to be terrible, and I am going to go for like a minute. It's weird saying that on the internet, but I'm going to crash sooner if I don't. So like, I'll be right back. And then as of right now, this poll is at 50%. So we'll just do the seasonal surprise box first, since I have it on my desk, and that way I can move it. And then the cats have more room on my desk. So yeah. Oh, and Hannah, it was the first day of school. That is awesome. I hope it went well. I'm not in school, but school for the K through 12 graders in my area starts next week. Is it next week? Maybe it's the week after. No, I think it's next week. It's the Tuesday/Wednesday after Labor Day in our area. And then usually the colleges and universities start near the end of September. But anyway, I will be right back. As I said, like 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Sorry, guys. Okay, I am back. I told you guys it would not be long. It's literally just right over there. Also, maybe I should apologize for the big ass fan behind me. It's warm enough that I've decided I don't care about the aesthetics of having a big ass fan behind me. I'm just going back and reading a couple of the chats from like just a little bit higher. Leah, you're just glad we're here. Massive care sent your way. Thank you. That's so sweet. And then Shakira saying live streaming takes a lot and it's impressive that you do it so well. Thank you. That's so sweet. Okay, this is so weird. The chat on my computer, like, so obviously there's the chat that you guys see like in the stream, but because it's bigger, I actually usually have the chat up separately in YouTube so I can see it just a little bit more easily. And it froze. And so I'm like looking over here because I know the chat for you guys is here, but for me it's this way. On the streaming software. And so I'm looking over there and I'm like, it's moving. Why is my screen not moving? That is so weird. I've never had that happen before. The boos are back. Okay. Great. The chat has updated. Seasonal surprise box has gotten 57%. Poll is ending now. We'll start with that. We will still do the other stuff. It was just a which do we do first sort of deal. Okay. Leah, I support med taking for sure as well. Yeah, it's a little bit it's a little bit, I have to say, it's very hard to remember to take my meds, but, and like part of me doesn't like having to have that as part of my routine, but part of me is like, it helps, and it's the only thing I've found that helps, and so it gets me to a point where I can like do other, like put other tools and things into place, which helps quite a bit. So yeah. Hannah, you're a teacher's assistant. Yeah, the first day would definitely be long with like all the new stuff, and I'm sure it's like so many different things with different people come up all the time. And hello, Agman, welcome. Yeah, it has been a while. So let's go ahead and talk about the seasonal surprise box from Erin Condren, and then we will talk about the Hispanic and Latinx Heritage Month collection. Let me know what you think about all of this in the chat. I'm already seeing something from Magneto, but let me go ahead and just recap real fast. So previously what I was allowed to show was a mug that looks like this. And then as of Thursday last week, there were 2 other things I was allowed to show you, but again, because I didn't stream, because on Thursday specifically, I had a wicked case of vertigo, which was lovely. Yeah, it was interesting. I ended up like moving all of my orders that I had to ship Thursday and Friday out to today, because I'm just like, I can barely think straight, let alone fill orders. Manito, you just want to say that the fall seasonal surprise box is way overpriced. That's fair. I personally don't agree. I was sent it for PR, but I would have bought it with my own money. I definitely think a lot of things on the Erin Condren website are very expensive. But for this, I would not necessarily say overpriced, but you are entitled to your opinion. So, and remind me, guys, I don't think the price for the base box has changed. So there's a couple of differences this time around. Sarah, it used to be 30 something. Okay, so it has gone up a little bit. Keep in mind, I will say that everything's going up right now. So like, I don't know, just like a couple bucks here and there, like, I don't know. It's one of those things. Also, I will mention, I live in a state in the US that does not pay sales tax. So I have not read a couple of the comments that have just come in yet. I've just like kind of skimmed them. But for me, the sticker price is the price with a couple of small exceptions. I don't smoke, but I think tobacco products might have an additional tax on it. And then like cannabis is legal here, so that has an additional tax on it. That always throws me so bad. Always throws me so bad. I'm like, why am I paying more? Right, tax. Can't we be a civilized society and just put the tax in with the price? But no, we can't. But yeah, so I am not used to having to factor tax into things, and I do plan to move out of Oregon eventually, so I will have to get used to it, because I think there's like two or three states in the US that does not have sales tax. So, and I don't plan to move to any of them. Currently, I'm thinking New York or California for where I move to. I don't know. I keep going back and forth, and I've been going back and forth for about 10 years. So we'll see. And I can also double check the price, guys, what it was. You know what? I'll just do that on my main screen since I'm not screen sharing right now. Akban, oh my God, it's 99. It's supposed to be 109. I do not envy that. Not fun. I do not like heat of many kinds, but then I also get really picky about things getting too cold, so I'm just picky when it comes to shit. Let's see, Ackman, you're saying about the seasonal surprise box, it all depends on what you get out of it. For you, the last one was not worth the 40 plus tax. Maybe this one might have things that you like. Hannah, you're asking me if I have the backpack. If so, what's the qualities like? I do not have the backpack, so unfortunately I cannot answer you on that. I will say that the backpack is one of the things on the Erin Condren website. Like, there are some things that, like, if I had the money, like if I had more money than I do to just like spend on stuff, I would. The backpack is certainly not in that category for me. I also will say that I tend to like different features in my backpack than that one has, but yeah, I feel like it is very expensive. If anybody knows more about the backpack, let me know. Shakira, given their current shipping fees, you say the box is worth it with free shipping. That is a very good point. Shipping is expensive. But Magneto, for you, international, for you, it's a lot. $65 plus $17 shipping, so $110 approximately. Is that, I'm guessing that's conversion to your currency. I'm blanking on exactly where you're from. You don't have to share it, but Shakira, you like that you get to choose something. Yes, that is what I am super excited about. And Shakira, you're saying you're international too, and now your bag is held up in customs. Oh my God, I hate that. They're intending to charge 65 USD in duties and freight when technically the policy is freight once the item is more than $30. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Manito, okay, yeah, Canadian, that would make sense. I try not to to go against my US centric mindset, but I'm not always the best at it, and if I'm not compensating appropriately, please call me out on it. I will say that in that particular situation, I might disagree with you, but I do try to offset my US centricness as much as possible, because obviously the world does not revolve around the US, and the sooner a lot of people in the US figure that out, the better we'd all be. Sorry. I swear, I do like my country. I just don't like the attitudes of everybody here. Yeah. Oh, come on. I know I have. I'm looking back through my email. I'm sure it says, like, or one of the seasonal surprise boxes, like what they have been in the past. I just want to double check that because we were talking about the price. I want to say it was like 35 at, or sorry, 30. It's been 30 at the lowest. I don't know. It might have been 35. I could be wrong. Let me try something else. Yay. Dead air. Not completely. This is where music would probably help. It would help me feel less awkward, but logistically, I just couldn't deal with the music more than just having it a little bit in the intro, which I might have even turned off. I forget. Come on. Okay, so as of November of 2021, they were $40. So they've been $40 for a while, at least. It's not like it's a super new occurrence. Let me see if I can like go back to like 2020 or 2019. See how much they were then. The problem is that a lot of times Erin Condren, like after, like with the emails, they'll stop hosting the images, so it makes it very hard to go back unless the stuff is like the info is in the title or in the very little text. Yeah. I guess I could go back and like look at my Erin Condren purchase history. That would do it. Duh. Why am I getting... I feel like when we're talking about price and whatnot, like, again, I do not... Coco, did you just unplug a monitor? No, you're good. I don't know. I feel like I just have to be accurate. I still personally do not think $40 for the base box is too much, but that is my opinion. But I also want to get accurate information for all of you guys about prices going up because inflation is very much a thing. Okay, so in February of 2020, I did order the Spring 2020 Seasonal Surprise Box, and that was $40. Okay, so in 2020, it went up from 35 to 40. So yes, it did go up, but it has not been recent. And I think it launched at 35 because I started getting them very, like, I don't think I got the first one. I got them like fairly soon after they started launching, and I'm seeing a bunch of 35s. So yeah, they went up from 35 to $40 in 2020. It wasn't super recent. Okay, let me go back and take a look at the chat. Let's see. Menino, you're saying when you got your warehouse season, or I was gonna say your warehouse seasonal surprise box, your warehouse surprise box, you had to pay an additional $35 custom fees first times ever. Heard this might happen with the fall seasonal surprise box too. I have heard a lot of people in Canada like that being normal when getting stuff from outside of the country, but that is not an experience that I've had personal practice with. I don't know too much about it. Shakira, you would suck your teeth if it was a box of sticky notes. Is it an add-on or no, though, for the notebook? Shakira, the reason having to pay duties is the reason why you haven't bought a seasonal surprise box. I have to say, at least with, I think it's mostly Europe, or maybe it's just Europe, that has VAT or VAT. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but at least that is collected like at checkout in a lot of cases. I don't know how it is for Erin Condren, but at least on Etsy, Etsy's the one that collects it. And I know this because I have to write it on the packages so that the customer doesn't get it charged additional. And so if companies could start doing that like at checkout, that way it's not a surprise. That I think that would be great. Then at least you could make a decision, you know? But in the US, as long as the item or items, the package is under $800, we don't have to pay duties. So that's why it's nothing that I've really had to worry about, because I haven't ordered stuff more than $800 from outside the US. Okay, so back to the seasonal surprise box specifically. There was some talk about like when you can see stuff and whatnot for the seasonal surprise box. So for the seasonal surprise box, it is a tiered embargo system. So I think it was like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, something like that, I was allowed to show the outside of the box and the mug that is coming in it. So let me close the box. So this is the outside of the box. And then on Thursday, I was to the point where I could show the planner covers, because they always come with the planner cover. And then for the first time, there is an optional add-on notebook. So let me actually get to that and show it to you. So previous to the change, there was one set of interchangeable planner covers that you would get with each seasonal surprise box, and it was always in a 7x9. With the change that has been made, now you get to choose between 2 different designs, and you get a choice of a 7x9 or an A5. And you can get one or the other. For the PR box, they did send me both. But most people will not be able to get both. So these are our 2 options. And you get to choose these when you buy it. It's like literally part of the checkout thing, like as part of like adding it to your cart. So this is what they look like. So this, the first one, is the same pattern as on the outside of the seasonal surprise box. And my guess is that had they not had the option, this very well might have been the covers that they would have sent out, because usually the design on the outside of the box has a fair amount to do with what is inside. So same with their normal interchangeable covers. Very cute with that. And then I have to say, this one is a little bit more my speed personally. Little woodland creatures. It's the same on the back, but I'll show you. These are not personalized. The seasonal surprise box ones typically aren't. Well, I'm pretty sure they always aren't. Maybe I shouldn't say that specifically, but they are very pretty. And so I just showed you the 7x9s for purposes of showing them on screen so you guys could see them, but they also sent me the A5 versions, so you can kind of get an idea of what the difference is. The best way, in my opinion, to tell the difference is to look at the owl on this one. So, and then you can kind of also see, because like the A5 is a little narrower, so some of it, you know, the aspect ratio of the cover itself is a little bit different, and then you can see the size difference of the pattern by kind of looking at either the owl or the fox or something like that. So those are the covers. Let me go ahead and take a look at the chat. I am also going to change the title of the stream, because I realized I should probably say what we're talking about. When I started it, not only was I running late, but I was not exactly sure where the stream was going to go, and I knew we'd probably be talking about these things. But I hadn't figured out how yet. So, Sharon saying fall leaves are their first choice. Sarah likes the leaves one. Coco's climbing on the box. Let's see, Manny. No, whoa, Coco. So this was on, and then so this was like the edge, and so Coco stepped here, and it like went ooh, and then she went away because she's like, that's not safe. Manito, you're saying the leaves cover is more than the woodland critters cover, but you would be happy with either one. I wonder what they'll look like with a black background. I don't think these particular covers would pop as much with a black background, but I don't know. Ackman, the leaves one is the one they bring out all the time. So they've like this style of leaves, or have they actually had this one before? I'm curious. Sarah, never personalized. Thank you for confirming that. Yvonne, hello. I didn't see you get here. I hope you're having a good one. You wish they had just done the size options for the covers, can't between patterns, so you've not ordered. Yes, Ackman and I were actually talking a little bit about that last week, a little on and off. I never saw his last message because I've been busy and catching up and not feeling well and all that wonderful stuff. But I have to say, since they do have the add-on option, it'd be cool. Like, I like the idea of a cover choice. I think that in and of itself is an improvement. An even better improvement would be, do you want 1 or 2 covers? But yeah. Shakira, the leaves are your jam. Sarah, the leaf one reminds you of the first fall seasonal surprise box cover, metallic leaves. Ooh. Ackman, the leaves are like this. Okay, they're like ones that they bring out all the time around this time of year. That makes sense. I mean, they are definitely like very Erin Condren type patterns. Like a lot of Erin Condren stuff is definitely maybe not actively girly. That might not be the right word. But kind of like feminine, soft. Yeah, anyway. But speaking of metallic leaves, there is also an option to add on a notebook, which Erin Condren also did send to me. This was sent to me for PR. They are not paying me to talk about this except in PR. Like they're giving me the PR. They're not giving me like $50 to make the stream or video or whatever. Again, just full disclosure on affiliate stuff. You guys know how I am. I'd rather there be absolutely no ambiguity about my relationship with brands, what I'm getting, what I'm not getting, like all that good stuff. You can add on a notebook, and this one does have metallic leaves on it. It is an A5, and it says, when you find balance, you'll find peace. And this is a daily balance journal. So that's the inner cover of it. And then there is a quote as well as a how to use this journal. There are some weekly pages, daily pages. I honestly have not taken a lot of time to look at this yet. Actually, sorry, let me just double check. I know I can show you the outside of this. Let me make sure I'm allowed to show you stuff, like the details inside. I don't want to get in trouble. Erin Condren gives me stuff, and they're really nice, and they don't like get mad at me for being brutally honest about my opinions, but in exchange, I do not want to piss them off by breaking embargoes or like not following them. So I should have checked that ahead of time. That's my bad. Let's see. Just says the notebook. I'm good. So I will continue to show a little bit of what's inside it. So after that first page where it says how to use it, there's a checking in spread, and there are places for what's important to me, what balance means to me, adjustments needed, support needed. Oh, I need to do this shit. Okay. I think this is a notebook I'm going to be using. I'm not usually one for like guided notebooks, but I think this one might be good. And then it looks like from there, it goes into undated, like weekly and monthly spreads, I think. So this is the beginning of the week. And so it has this section, and then this is for a day. So the one for the week, it has this week, top priorities, what balance looks like, self-care, gratitude, or joy. And then on the daily page, it has a lot of lined pages as well as some to-dos, and then a place you could write a quote or something, and then you can put a date up there. And there are a few of those. And then at the end of the week, there is a spread like this. Well, this one is for the end of the week. That one's for the beginning of the next week. So the end of the week says how the week went, what I'm proud of, what I'm carrying into the next week. And then it starts over again. So this could be used instead of a planner or in addition to like a weekly or a daily planner. I am not exactly sure how I'm going to use this yet. Well, not obviously. I have not read the how to use this journal yet. And it would be boring. Unless you guys want me to like read the whole thing verbatim on stream, it would be kind of boring to read it right now. So I won't make you wait while I just like sit here and read it silently unless you guys actually want to hear it. But this is the add-on that you can add on. And I mean, I like it. I'm excited to use this. Now let me double check what exactly the price to add that on is. Okay, it's $24. So that is a case where I think this is a good notebook. It looks like it could be very helpful. It is up to you whether you think this is worth $24. And putting myself in the shoes of, had I not gotten this for PR, I probably would have bought the seasonal surprise box myself, because typically the fall and the winter ones tend to be my favorite. I bought the summer one. Literally, I only spent my money on the summer one because I did buy that one with my own mini. I only spent my money on the summer one because I wanted to be able to show you guys. It was like literally, that was my excuse. But fall and winter are the two. Like if I could choose 2 a year, it would be fall and winter. Those tend to be my faves. But I don't think I would add the balance journal. Just because, I don't know, because I can be stingy, I guess. $24 seems like a lot. And as I said, I definitely will use, well, I shouldn't say definitely because I haven't started. I think I will use it. I think I will like it. I'm not sure if I would have spent $24 on it personally. Whether you think it is worth it is up to you. One thing I will say is that because these covers are interchangeable, you could put this cover on your actual, you know, A5 planner. If you wanted, you know, you can swap your covers around. But the covers are not worth $24, so don't just get it for the covers. There have definitely been some comments going, so we're going to go ahead and take, let's see, Sarah, should you bring your planner with me to the hospital and rehab? Ooh, that is a good choice, or that's a good question. I think it partially depends on kind of what you use your planner for. Some people tend to use their planners, like in some ways as like a memory sort of thing, like memory keeper journal sort of thing, to like to track that sort of thing, and then they like to look back on it. Or if you're the person that really likes to spend a lot of time decorating your planner, then in the hospital and maybe in rehab, I don't know what the time, you know, your days are going to look like if you're going to have time, but you could theoretically use that as a creative outlet. But a lot of times apart from like designing, like putting stickers in my planner, just use it as a glorified to-do list in a lot of ways. And so for me, it would not be worth it. But that is going to totally, that's going to be up to you. Ackman saying that Erin Condren chose the inside of it on their seasonal surprise box page. Give a brief about it as well. Great. Sarah, if it wasn't an A5, I'd be more excited about the journal. You need bigger. Yeah. Sarah, you didn't get it because of the size. That makes sense. I have to say, I personally am learning to appreciate more A5 size stuff. For the longest time, I'm like, why would I need something smaller? And now I'm like, no, I actually kind of like it. But I also know that I tend to write smaller than a lot of other people do, or at least for me, it's easy to write smaller. So that not everybody's like that. Ackman, the add-on is almost like others they have had on their site to you. It's not worth it. That is fair. And it's possible that even though they don't have like this exact notebook on their site, they have other things that are similar enough that you could buy it like separately. So again, like I will not judge anybody who spends their money on it, because I love this idea. I think it's a beautiful notebook. I also don't blame anybody who thinks it's not worth the money. Because as I said, if I was going to be spending my money on it, I probably would not spring for the additional notebook. I'd probably stick with it, just the base box. And you guys know, brutally honest when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Well, maybe not brutally, but I am honest about my opinions with Erin Condren, and they, I believe, are aware that I will tell you guys when I don't like something or when I think something could be improved. And I try not to let the fact that they send me stuff cloud that judgment any more than is inevitable, if that makes sense. Yvonne, seems more than their normal journals that size, but you can't look it up right now. That is interesting. I had not even thought about that. There are a couple of things to keep in mind about prices of journals, though. There's like the size, but then there's also the number of pages. So like I will give you that. Oh, interesting. The A5 Travel Vacation Planner is $25.50. So that is $1.50 more than the add-on. That's 160 pages. How many are in this? Here, let me do this. Let me actually just go to screen share mode, because then you can see what I'm doing here. So I just pulled this up, and then I'm just going to go back to the seasonal surprise box page, which is where I was. I want to see if they specify how many pages, because it would be very cool if they did. Let's see. It just says a productivity notebook. It doesn't, unless I'm missing it. Tell me if I'm missing this. I'm going to go through the, like, buy this thing to see if it says on the option page. No, it just says balanced journal. I mean, my guess just from the thickness of it is that it is at least over 100 pages, but I don't know. It's not numbered. And it doesn't seem to specify exactly how many pages it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's around, around 160. I also would not be surprised. Oh my goodness, thank you. Okay, yeah, 160 pages. Okay, so exclusive to this box, as Ackman just pointed out, A5, 1 set gold metallic covers, no personalization, 1 gold colored coil, 160 pages, no tabs, and then it shows inside. So, I mean, that's kind of what I showed you, but, and also how to use it. So, you guys can go and take a look at that and zoom in on your own time if you want. Again, I do not want to take up more time than I need to, because I already talk a lot and I already showed you a lot. So when you do compare it to another journal of the same page count, it actually is about the same. It's like $1.50 cheaper. I wonder how many pages the Christian Faith Journal has. 160. Okay, and this one is a couple dollars cheaper as well. Interesting. Maybe because that doesn't have the metallic on the cover. Does the other one? Does this one? Yeah. Okay. So it seems to be the metallic on the cover that dictates exactly what it is. Like how much the price is. A5 Daily Routines and Ritual Journal. I'm guessing that's 160 pages as well. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's just from like a purely like comparing to other products on the Erin Condren website, it is around the amount, within a couple of US dollars of what I would expect of what the other stuff is. A couple dollars here and there I don't necessarily count as a huge price difference. So that's why I'm saying like about the same. Ackman, good point. It's only a 3-month journal. Keep in mind, though, that at least for me, I suck at using things consistently. So for me, it will probably last significantly longer than 3 months. And if they had an undated life planner that was in English and not in Spanish, I would certainly buy that too, because it is not uncommon for me to have a week or 2 or 5, sometimes even back to back, where I do not use my planner. And sometimes it is because I'm using a different planner, but often it's because I just don't use it. So the fact that it's undated for me actually is a huge plus. Shakira, you have one question. Not sure what you're at liberty to say, but is everything in the box exclusive? In the past, some of the things are sneak peeks and some they come to the shop later. I think everything in this box is exclusive. I think, I can't show you anything else in the box, but I think I can at least confirm whether everything's exclusive or not. They didn't specifically say, but I feel like if anything, if everything's exclusive, that would make people want to buy it more. And I'm pretty sure everything is exclusive. Yes. Now, what I will say is that it's possible that like they release one of the items with a slightly different print. So for example, they could theoretically release this notebook at a later date with a different cover, and this is still technically exclusive because with this cover is exclusive, if that makes sense. So just because it says exclusive on the little card does not mean there will not be similar things, but it does mean that the exact items as they're presented in the box for this fall seasonal surprise box will not be available in the store. Sarah, the last time you had surgery, you brought it and used it as a journal for those days. I mean, in that case, definitely bring your planner. I know that like a lot of times when I'm not feeling well, like there's that time where you're like, I'm not feeling well enough to like do normal things, but I'm feeling well enough to want to do stuff. So like planner stuff or like journaling is great for that. Manito, you did see another sneak peek release, which is the Planny Pack zipper pouch. You like that too. Was that from the seasonal surprise box? Because I am allowed to talk about any, I honestly, so I like looked like really briefly at what's in the box, but I really, apart from like the first day that I got it, glanced in, I have not looked at all the other stuff in the box besides the stuff I've shown you. Partially because I did not want to accidentally say something that I am not allowed to say. But so is that, did they specifically say that that was in the box, or did they say that that is a like just a sneak peek in general from the store? Let's check out Erin Condren's Instagram account. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram, so I have to say sometimes Erin Condren does sneak peeks on Instagram, and I am terrible at seeing them because I just am. I will say though, I have been toying around with the idea of going back to using Instagram, not for anything planner related, unless I maybe post about like my stickers on like my shop Instagram, but I've been thinking about talking about like my wavy hair journey on Instagram. I don't know. I have not made a decision. I had a little mini photo shoot. Okay, it wasn't a mini photo. Well, it kind of was. I had a photo shoot yesterday. It was interesting. It was outside. Was it? No, it wasn't even yesterday, was it? It doesn't matter when it was. Oh my goodness, Tef. I have not reviewed the photos. I have not actually posted anything. But I have definitely been messing around with my wavy hair, and I've been enjoying watching people's videos on YouTube, and I know that there's a pretty big like wavy curly community on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, that might be like kind of fun, plus a good way to document what's going on with my hair, because I've been trying a bunch of stuff and then not keeping track of what I'm doing, and it's interesting. Ackman, it sounds like the G2G version journal notebook that is on the sales page for $13.50. Ooh, let's look at that. I know I'm a little behind, but thank you. Oh, the Vision notebook, not version notebook. Duh. So this is a 7x9, 160 sheets. When the vision is clear, strategy is easy. That does actually kind of sound like it. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Why is my Zoom not working lately? I do know Chrome wants to like update, and so maybe that's it. Oh, it's kind of hard to see because of the pictures, but like they're not the best. Okay, so it looks like this isn't necessarily like, it has more of like the prep work sort of stuff. And then it looks like it's not necessarily a daily thing, but it's more kind of like putting visions together and like working towards them over a longer period of time. That actually looks very cool. As I've mentioned, I am on a bit of a budget right now, so it is not in the budget, but this is another one I think I could use just based on like where I am mental space right now. As I said, like my thoughts have been very jumbled and I'm like just, I don't even know what I'm doing and it's very frustrating. But that's okay. That's okay. Ackman saying some of the items that were on the up to 75% off sales page are now on the sales tab for half off. Good to know. Thank you for letting us know. Shakira, you're done with EC until October when your coupon expires? Yeah. Shakira, EC sneaked the pouch, the cup, and the notebook. Ah. Seriously? Okay, give me a sec. I don't know if any of my personal information is going to show up. And I have to decide like what thing I want to log in under. Seriously? I mean, Erin Condren is making it lovely and vague. Let me see what their exact wording is, because it looks like if they've sneak peeked it, like I might be able to show anything in this picture. Or it's a reel, a photo, or oh, it's a thing. It's a video. Give me a sec. Sorry. I really should have starved this email from Tori. Okay. I should actually put my affiliate link in the description in case anybody hasn't ordered it and wants to use my link. I'll do that in a sec. Let's see. The only contents you can share are the cover choices, the deluxe add-on notebook, and any items Erin Condren has shared with the public. No other products in the box can be shown. Okay. So, since it is very clearly on Erin Condren's Instagram, let's go ahead and watch it for starters. Let me get back because I was just on a page where I could not see the chat. Oh, Caramel Cookie, thank you for saying my hair looks amazing. I tried like 4 new things on it this time. Well, one of them was a treatment, and then I tried a different styling technique, and I've been trying some new products, but like the first time I tried them was before the protein treatment that I did, and I think my hair was in moisture overload, so anyway. And then I did a styling technique called Wash Now, Style Later for anybody else who has wavy hair and is experimenting with it, and I kind of love it so far. Leah, I'm glad you like the idea of the wavy hair IG. Here's the thing. I love the idea. I think I'd be really into it, like at the beginning, but I don't want to commit to following up on something that I'm just going to like stop being interested in, because that's something I tend to do. It's kind of an ADHD thing. But on the other hand, if I don't promise I'm going to keep up on it and it's just kind of like a fun thing, then anyway. So here is the preview video so you guys can see. So now I have to go through the box and be like, okay, having not gone through the box in a ton of detail, what in that video, besides the pouch, is in the seasonal surprise box that I can show you guys. So let me go back, since I don't have my camera down. I was stupid and didn't set that up. Ooh, I just had a really good idea. I never use it. I have a webcam. Long story, but short version is the webcam on my laptop was not working for quite a while, and I was not willing to spend money with Apple to get it fixed. Finally, I managed to convince them to do it for free. Well, technically the webcam was actually working. It was the screen that wasn't, so I always kept the screen down and I used it as a desktop. Anyway, I was doing Etsy coaching at the time for a specific company. Now I'm just doing Etsy coaching freelance, and so they bought me a webcam. But I'm not often using it. So my thought is, like, I have my DSLR that is currently my face cam, my webcam set up permanently, and usually I have to use my phone as my top-down camera, but maybe I can come up with a rig where I set that up permanently at my desk, or I can maybe swing it in and out or something. I don't know. That way, in a situation like this where I didn't think ahead, I could just swing it out and grab it. So that would be kind of cool. Shakira. So you can only use reward points and not coupon codes. I believe they have said that you can now use reward points on the seasonal surprise boxes. I know the 20% off coupon codes are not stackable with other coupon codes. I think they are stackable with reward points, and I don't think you can use coupons on the seasonal surprise box. That I could be wrong about. For a while you couldn't, or maybe, I think it was before they redid their Erin Condren Insider thing. There was weird exclusions on what you could use for the seasonal surprise box. Sarah, you just figured out why the Erin Condren site wasn't working for me. Apparently it was auto zoom too big for your browser, so you couldn't see links. I mean, that's annoying, but at least you figured it out. You see, Ackman, I am just jealous that you can go to the local Erin Condren store. You're saying it would be nice to pick colors other than purples and the rose gold Erin Condren always uses. Yeah. See, I happen to be a purple and a pink and a rose gold fan, but I get that. Yeah, I get that. And you always use an external webcam that's perched on top of your laptop screen. Yeah, not unfortunately. The webcam in my laptop, actually, I was going to say it's higher quality. That I'm not sure about. I'd have to double check that. But what I can say is it's definitely more seamless. I was having some issues with the external webcam, but I think it's the kind of thing that once I figured out what I need to do when it's acting up, it wouldn't be a big deal. Because I currently have, in case anybody's curious, I have a Canon T3i that I bought about 10 years ago. That is still my DSLR camera. It doesn't have all the nice new shiny features, but most of those I can get away without them. Let's just say that. I would not say no to a new camera, but I don't need it. And it's still doing great. If anything, the quality of the stream is actually degraded because I don't have the best internet. Not because of the camera. On my screen, it's actually very clear. But, ooh, that reminds me, at some point I do want to do a test to see what if my computer can handle recording and streaming at the same time, but that is a not today thing. Maybe I'll do an impromptu stream one of these days if I feel like it, and it will be hey, I don't know how long this is going to last. It might be 15 or 20 minutes. My computer might crash, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah, so with the Canon, it was a problem for a long while until I figured out, oh my goodness, Aaron Condren just texted me. He's like, hey, we see you're eyeing something on our site. Come back. Anyway. Once I figured out how to fix it, like what the normal issues were and how to fix it, it became not a big deal. Okay, so here's the pouch that I was going to show you. It is a 3-zipper pouch. Raspberry ombre is what it says on the tag. Stupid zoom. And so this pouch is going to go to the bottom. The inside is probably not waterproof, but it definitely is that like slightly shiny and slippery material that is easy to clean up, which is nice. And then this middle pouch goes all the way to the bottom of the bag as well. That was one thing I wasn't sure about, is if all the pouches went all the way to the bottom. And then the top does have a little asterisk pull. And then you have the top part of the pouch. There are no little pouches in there, and it's that same wipeable stuff. And then the outside is kind of, I don't know, kind of like a canvasy material almost. It's not super rough, but it's also not super soft. You can, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this on camera, but like you can like very obviously see the weave of the fabric, if that makes sense. So, but it is not an actual planny pack. It is just a pouch. So, this is very cute. Personally, I always like to think like, and I know this is a first world problem, and I've talked about this before, because I do have a lot of Erin Condren PR. One of the things I always think about is, can I use this, or can somebody else use this better than me? Whether it's my mom or my sister, or donating it or something like that. And so, my mom might be able to use this for sewing stuff, or I might use it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But again, especially because I am trying to actually declutter my place. I am not a hoarder, but I have a very hard time getting rid of stuff. And even the idea of like, once I decide to get rid of stuff, how do I actually get it out? Like if it's not something that can just be thrown away or recycled, like in like the paper recycling, or for us, it's like mixed paper and some plastics and cardboards and stuff like that. But anyway, if it's not one of those things that are very straightforward, like just the idea of getting it out is very overwhelming, and figuring out like, okay, like what do I donate? Like what can't I donate? And like all that good stuff. So anyway, because I'm doing that with a lot of the stuff in my life, that is something I oftentimes think about. But this is a very cute pouch. I like it. I think it's cute. And as I said, I like pink, so we're good. Oh, and I also will say, in case anybody is curious, I couldn't sell any of the Erin Condren PR that I get, even if I wanted to. That is part of the terms of getting Erin Condren PR, is I cannot sell it. And unfortunately, I do not have the money currently to spend on shipping a bunch of stuff out to people, so I can't do like a giveaway online. Because I was thinking about that too, but yeah. Sharon, you used your reward points on the seasonal surprise box. I'm glad to hear that that definitely works. Ackman's points don't start to expire until January 2023. I should probably check mine. I don't think I've checked in a while. Yvonne, you feel like you'd overspend if you go to the store in Nova. I'm assuming that's the Virginia store. I feel like I would overspend a lot too. Or at least I'd be tempted to. One thing that you can do, and I mean, this is going to be different for everybody, but like going in, kind of knowing your budget and then knowing how likely you are to stick to said budget. And then like putting stuff in place. So like, if you're the kind of person that can say like, okay, I'm going to have like, you know, whatever the budget is, let's just say $40, like, and, you know, and you can just say like, this is my budget. And then you can use a card to pay for it. And you can trust yourself not to go over budget. If you have more in that like bank account or credit on your credit card, then that's great. If you can't, then, you know, maybe leave your cards at home and bring cash or something like that, because, that way, you know, you can, if you want to, you can go and you can experience it and, you know, and stay on budget in that sense. Or I wonder if the Erin Condren gift cards on the website are good in store, because then you could just decide how much you're going to spend, buy a gift card on the Erin Condren website. But then if you go under budget, you'd be stuck spending it at Erin Condren. Not that that's always the worst thing in the world, but, you know. Anyway, going back to the pouch, Ackman, you're saying it looks like the pouch holds about the same as the old planny packs do. I'm guessing they actually hold a little bit more once you take into account the separate compartments, but I do not have an old planny pack in front of me to compare it to. It would be around the same amount. But yeah. Sarah, you've been there. Yeah. Shakira, declutter the leaf cover your way in the A5. Oh my goodness. I mean, if I don't want to, one thing I have thought about though, since I'm not able to sell anything that I get for PR, like, as I said, I do not have, like, just being brutally honest, like, money is tight for me right now. Like, if I was not an Erin Condren affiliate and they weren't sending me stuff for PR, I would not be able to afford, like, all of, like, the Erin Condren stuff I'm able to show you. And I'm so grateful for that. And it makes me feel like really lucky. And it makes me feel in a lot of ways like I'm not on a tight budget, because I still get to like try new planner things and explore it and stuff like that. But, and I'm not saying that as like a, like, you know, I'm not trying to ask for sympathy. I'm just trying to explain the situation that I'm currently in. So one thing I have thought about is like, if anybody like, with some of the stuff I'm decluttering, if perhaps, since I'm not allowed to sell it, like, if someone's willing to maybe pay shipping for me to send it to them, and like, you know, shipping, like, this is what USPS is charging, like, I'll prove it to you. That way I'm not out of pocket, and it's like effectively the same for me as like donating it to somewhere local. I don't know. That's something that has crossed my mind. If anybody is interested in that, please let me know. I will not make any promises, but I have thought of that. Yvonne, that's what, let's see. Replying to Sarah, that's what you're afraid of. May go once you decide to get a new office desk. That's a great idea. Yeah. Ackman, did you find a use for the coffee fund from Ko-fi? In case anybody's not familiar with Ko-fi, it is kind of similar to Patreon, except the fees are lower, so the creator gets more of it. And in addition to having the option of donating monthly, there is an option where you can make like a one-time donation towards a creator. At some point, I think I will open up some sort of subscription. I'm not sure if I'm just going to expand my sticker subscription onto there, or if I'm going to have something separate. I have not decided yet. But that is what Ackman is referring to. And yes, it is not very glamorous, Ackman. That coffee fund from Ko-fi is probably going to go to paying my rent this month. And is greatly appreciated. Yeah. I'm not in danger of being out on the streets or anything like that. I will say that, but things are tight. Yvonne, clarifying, you're talking about the Northern Virginia store. Yeah. You're not going to stick to a budget. You know that about yourself. That is fair. The fact that DC has a store should bring us into contention for places to move. Ooh, I hadn't even thought about DC. I will say, though, on the East Coast, because the East Coast has a very good train system, and like actually a lot of places that one might want to go, I'm like, okay, the West Coast has a lot of places. It's just that the states are huge and there aren't as many cities, and there aren't, like, the places that you want to go are significantly farther apart. Anyway, my point is, even though living in DC is not the kind of thing where I could like easily just like pop up to New York for a weekend, but yeah. Yeah. I would like to, I love New York City. I mention it all the time probably, but in 2019, I had the opportunity to spend a month and a half there over the summer. And I know I was kind of like, it was like kind of like a working vacation in a lot of ways. Like, it definitely was like, like, it wasn't a vacation, but I knew I wasn't going to be there long term. But it was amazing, and I loved it there. It is definitely expensive in New York, but yeah, I loved it. I liked being able to walk and take the subway everywhere, even though the subway itself was ass. I especially hated the Times Square station. That is such like a non-touristy thing to say. Yeah. Ackman saying shipping payment gives me ideas. I mean, we can talk. We'll see. I'm not, again, not making promises. But if there is some Erin Condren stuff that I am decluttering and am interested in doing that for, I would have to think of a way to do it. I'd have to do it in such a way that I'm not... I want to make sure that I like am not on a platform that's like charging a lot of fees, both because I don't want to get in trouble with Erin Condren, and I wouldn't like want to charge you guys a lot, I guess. But yeah, I just have to think about it. I'd also want to see like if I'd want to try to come up with a fair way to do it. I just have to think logistics is really what it is. But it sounds like there's some interest, so I'll think about it. And yeah, I'm not sure, as I said, I'm not sure how I do it, but yeah. Leah saying you keep wanting to do Ko-fi for your sticker subscription, TBH. We can talk more about that tomorrow if you want during our coaching meeting. I know this isn't directly related to what we're talking about, but since you brought it up, just so I don't forget, Ko-fi is great for, it looks like it could be good for subscriptions. And as I said, I am thinking about putting my sticker subscription there in addition to Cratejoy, which is currently the main platform that I'm on. And I will just say that Ko-fi is not like super discoverable like Cratejoy is. So it would be more of an in addition to and not an instead of, unless you already have a big audience. Sarah, yes, come to the DMV. I must be missing the context of that, or I'm being stupid. Ackman saying, Tef should make a list of what she wants to get rid of, and then we could pick from that possibly. That could be me just completely brainstorming about how I would do this. I'd want to make it fair to people as much as possible. So maybe what I would do is I would somehow make a list ahead of time of what I'm wanting to declutter. And if you're interested in something, you could like put your name in the hat or something. And then I like draw names. and like that's the order in which people get to choose like 1 or 2 items. I don't know. I am not, again, I'm brainstorming, not making any promises. But yeah. Yvonne, they are stating a seaplane from the College Park, Maryland airport to New York City. The cheap buses from Union Station do make New York City an easy weekend trip. Ooh, that is awesome. When I was in New York in 2019, I almost went to the Erin Condren store, and I really wish I did. But I was thinking, oh, by like car or something like that, and it was like an 8-hour drive or something like that, and I'm like, okay, for that, then I'd like have to get a hotel, and like that wasn't in the budget, and I'm like, okay, whatever, it's not gonna happen. Yeah. Ackman, yes, the DMV is the Department of Motor Vehicles here in Portland, in Oregon as well. Also, our cannabis dispensaries across the street from the DMV, from the Department of Motor Vehicles. And like, I don't know, I have nothing to do with either organization, but I have like some weird sense of pride that like it's a Portland thing. Yeah, our dispensaries across the street from the DMV. I mean, there are about as many dispensaries here as coffee shops, and we have a lot of coffee shops here. So, I mean, that's maybe not saying that much, but I don't know. I get a kick out of it. But I did see when Sarah specified it's DC, Maryland, Virginia, which does make perfect sense. But yes, here DMV stands for Department of Motor Vehicles. Yeah. I mean, obviously everybody, like different regions are going to have different lingos. So that is just one of those things. Yeah. Yeah. I will say, because Sarah, you're saying like that's what most of the country knows it as. I used to work in auto finance. So while most of the country will like recognize it when you say DMV, like they'll know what you're talking about, there are a lot of states who call it different things. And like Florida is one of the weirder examples in my opinion. Like I used to work in auto finance. I've never financed a car. I'm still driving the car that I bought off my parents after I graduated from college. 1 year for Christmas, they gave me a discount for buying it for them. It's like right up there with like as a teenager, they like bought me half a laptop once and I had to buy the other half. But like my Christmas present is they'd pay for half the laptop. Anyway, that's what the car thing reminds me of. It's a 2001 car. It's like nothing glamorous. Doesn't even play CDs or tapes. It doesn't have an aux cord. Like, yeah, none of that stuff. I could replace it. I just haven't. So in Florida, they have the DMV. It might be called something slightly different, but they have it. But what they also have is tag agencies, and they do a lot of the same functions. But the cool thing that I mean, I've never been there, but it sounds like you can make an appointment so you don't have to go and wait in line, and you can do a lot of the stuff online. A lot of the DMV stuff is now online. I got to renew my driver's license online last year. I was very excited. I still have to go get another one sooner rather than later because Oregon's old driver's licenses don't work for flying on planes anymore, or it's either they don't work anymore or they won't soon. I do have a passport, but that's like a stopgap, not a permanent solution. So yeah. Sarah, you've done the bus. It's not that bad. So here's the weird thing about me. I always forget this because I usually drive myself, but I actually get motion sick. So I've done the bus up to Seattle a few times because I have a friend there. And sometimes I drive and sometimes I take a bus. I don't think I've ever taken a train. She usually takes a train, but the train's like double or triple the price of the bus. So usually if I'm going to do that, I cheap out and take the bus. But last time I did this, like the first time I sat in the front both ways and it was fine. And then the last time I went up on the bus or did the round trip on the bus, by the way, it's about like 2.5, 3 hours. So not too bad. I sat in the very front of the bus going up to Seattle perfectly fine. On the way back, though, I had to sit in the back, and I was so motion sick the whole time. Not to the point of like having to barf, but to the point of being like very effing miserable. So would like to not repeat that experience. Also, my friend up there does not have a car. So if I don't bring my car, it means we have to get Ubers and stuff like that. So to some extent, like the money, like what I save on gas money often ends up, anything I save on gas money ends up being made up for. Not that we really did a lot of like going around last time I was there because of like pandemic stuff, because we're both paranoid, but in the past we've like gone out and done stuff. And so like, it's nice to have a car for anything we want to do where we're not expecting to drink. So yeah. Sarah, in Maryland, it's the Motor Vehicle Association. Yeah, there are some other ones. Okay, here, there's part of me that like wants to like start a YouTube channel or TikTok account or something, or at least do a series on here about like weird auto finance stuff. Cause like I have some funny, maybe not funny, at least some crazy customer stories. But, you know, I mentioned Florida and like they have their tag agency thing. Hawaii is really weird because you apparently like, you know, like if you've ever moved from one state to another and had a car, you have to like re-register the car in the new state. And there's like all this paperwork you have to do. And there's like in different states, like sometimes you have to get inspections and do different things. In Hawaii, you have to do that when you're moving to a new island. Yeah. Like, I'm still in the same state, but I got to do all of this stuff. And then if you're financing your car, it's even more convoluted because the local DMV branches do not accept, like, mail in. They have, like, a central, like, records office that does all of that stuff. And when you're financing your car, you don't hold the title, usually, or, like, you don't have, like, a lien-free title, like, the finance company has an interest in the car until it's paid off, right? And if you're leasing a car, then the finance company definitely has the title because they own the car. So it's like a weird, like, catch-22 because like the DMV that needs to see it won't accept it. And it's like this whole hullabaloo. Oh man. Leah is saying some laptops are so costly that getting half paid for it worth it. I am not complaining about my parents paying for half a laptop. They actually did it 2 times, I think. And then they gave me 1 laptop as, I think that was a graduation present. I think that's when I was going to college. I forget the exact timing, but I've paid for 2 half laptops and then they bought me 1. My dad, by the way, is a software engineer. So like very into computers. I grew up in like wanting to like learn about computers and whatnot. But yeah, the ones that I paid for like half of, or that my parents paid for half of, they were like $800-ish PC laptops. So like definitely not super cheap, but most definitely not super expensive either. I currently have a 2016 MacBook Pro that was significantly more than that. And I've had to pay a lot to get it repaired a few times. But none of my PC laptops, even with their fixes and stuff, have lasted as long as this. So, you know. Leah, you got to get your passport ASAP. Don't like gathering documents. Yeah, it is a bitch. I'm lucky that mine does not expire for a little bit. My family went on a cruise a few years ago to Mexico, and so I did mine then, and luckily they last for 10 years, so I think I have a few more years before I have to renew it. But apparently, now you can do all the passport stuff at my local post office, where I am like twice a week to drop off orders, if not more. So anyway, Ackman, Real ID, have to have it by May 3rd, 2023 in order to fly, etc. after that date. That's fair. Honestly, I have been bringing my passport when I fly every single time for like the past 3 or 4 years, just to kind of cover my ass anyway. Ooh, some auto clubs here in California will process Real ID as well. Not sure about other states. I don't know. Sarah, yours is already real ID. Yeah, so basically, for anybody who's not in the US and doesn't understand, and I'm going to give you a very abbreviated version. Basically, some states didn't previously have, like, I guess, certain identity verification procedures, like, built into their system that worked for this, like, real ID for, like, flying purposes and stuff like that. So that's where, like, the whole real ID thing came in. And Oregon, as well as a bunch of other states, have been getting extensions on it for, like, years upon years upon years. And then, yeah, last time my driver's license needed to be renewed, I was like, well, one, I don't want to go to the DMV because it's the DMV. Even though it's, like, literally a 5 to 10 minute drive away, it's a pain in the ass. But also, again, paranoid. And if I'm gonna, go out of the house and wear a mask for a while, I'm gonna, like, go to a store and, like, actually look around and have fun. Not go to the DMV if I can manage it. But I will have to go to the DMV soon because I do have to deal with some registration stuff for my car. It would be very annoying. Yeah, anyway. Yvonne, you're in a strange situation where Maryland gave you a real ID without the documentation, so they go live license actually becomes invalid until you get the oh my goodness, that is terrible. Oh my goodness. Yeah, at least here they're like, if you renew online without the correct documents, then it's just not, like, real ID. It's not a correct, like, I think it says on there, like, not real ID, but there's, like, holographic, like, not watermarks, but, like, the little holographic security things on my driver's license, my new one, and my old one didn't have it. And I also have to deal with getting a new picture. And I'm like, yes. I was skinnier in that old picture. Not that you could see anything but my face. And I don't know. I think my face looks good. But, okay, I don't know about everybody else, but I always get self-conscious when I, like, have to go take those, like, ID pictures and shit like that. So I'm glad I didn't have to do it then. Yvonne, you have a passport and pass card, so you don't need real ID to fly. That's kind of how it is in the US. If you have a passport, that counts as real ID. And it's one of those things that, like, I mean, I'll probably end up renewing my passport at some point. We'll see. I would like to be in a situation where renewing it makes sense. But we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, you need to put a hard drive in your MacBook Pro 2010. It still runs when there's a hard drive. Yeah. I still have a couple of my old PCs. They're, like, in the closet. I probably should figure out how to wipe them. Okay. I could figure out how to wipe them pretty easily, but I should figure out how to, like, get rid of them responsibly. I think at least one of them still runs. But, yeah, they're quite old. We have a kitty. She's like, hey, you know that thing called dinner? It's time. And I'm like, no, it's not. 1, you had a late breakfast. 2, you have more food in your bowl. Have I checked? No. But they almost never eat all of their food. So it's essentially a guarantee that she has more food in her bowl. Also, does anyone have this experience where your, like, cat doesn't want to eat and then you, like, hand feed them? My cats will only eat kibble. They won't eat wet food. Luckily, so I don't have to deal with that. But I'll, like, hand feed them a few kibbles and then they'll just, like, start eating from the bowl. I'm like, seriously? And then they love it when I come, like, stand near their bowl. Like, they want me as a dinner guest. I'm like, I shouldn't be surprised. People like having dinner guests, but it just feels weird for the cat to want a dinner guest. Hello. Remember at the beginning of the stream how I'm like, hey, we're going to do both the seasonal surprise box and the Hispanic and Latinx Heritage Month stuff? Well, I have been streaming for about 1 hour and 45 minutes now. And I think I told you guys before that I want to stop streaming until I'm like completely out of it. I want to actually have some energy. So, anyway, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to quickly do a screen share and we can all ooh and ah. And then on Thursday, this is what we'll focus on, or at least this is what we'll start with. This like so reminds me of like, well, I mean, it is a notebook, but yeah, that's so cute. So yeah, this is what we will start with on Thursday because I didn't think I didn't have anything else scheduled. And then let me see. I'm not sure if I'll be able to say what it is, but let me just check my calendar. Usually when embargoes lift, I put them on my calendar so I can find them easily. And then I always end up going back to the Erin Condren email. No embargoes are lifting on Thursday. So something else might come up between now and then, but we will at least start with the Latinx Heritage Month stuff because we didn't get to that today. Thank you for everybody who has been at today's live, and thank you to anybody who is watching the replay. Please remember to give this stream a thumbs up because that makes me really happy. And if you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down and let me know. Just so you guys know, YouTube doesn't care whether you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's just like, do you want to give someone warm fuzzies or tell them you don't like their stuff? That's why I say give me a thumbs down. Anyway, I will also say, I've mentioned that I am thinking about switching to 1 stream a week. As of right now, I have not decided I'm doing that, and I have not decided when that's going to start and if that 1 day of a week is going to be Mondays or Thursdays or a different day entirely. So also, if you have any feedback on that, like what day works for you, all that good stuff, please let me know. But for now, I'm going to attempt to not be super chatty with this outro. So let me know all the things. And I hope you have a great evening or a great rest of the day, whatever time it is. And I'll see you next time. Bye.